Serious Business Talk with three hilariously serious business owners. Now, your host of the Business Happy Hour, Frank Coto.
Hey guys, good morning and welcome to the Business Happy Hour here on 1250 WHNZ. And if you're listening on Sunday mornings, not to our live Wednesday broadcast, then you are listening on 970 WFLA? Is that right? Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. Thank you, Gary. So I hope you're having a great morning or a great pre-afternoon here. I know we're having a good one. The weather is beautiful. Tampa is beautiful. We live in paradise, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. So if this is your first time listening to the Business Happy Hour, we are three successful business owners. Myself, Frank Coto, owner of Lincoln Lending Group and 813mortgage.com. Doug Ford, owner of Suncoast Roofing Solutions. And Ryan Pelky, owner of TampaBay Plumbers. We come together every Wednesday to give you guys some unedited business advice. But advice if you want to become an entrepreneur. Maybe you already are a business owner. Maybe you're having a problem in your business and you're not sure what to do. We are your guys. You are welcome to call in and talk to us anytime. If you want to be a part of the show, there's a couple ways that you can do it. First of all, if you want to call in, because this is a live show, if you're listening at 11 on Wednesday, you can call. Wait a minute, Gary, what's that number?
877-897-8255. That's 877-897-TALK.
I love it. And if you guys would like to become a guest on the show, heck, you can call in, but you can also email us. Email address is very easy. It's for the Business Happy Hour. It's BHHIHeart. That's BHHIHeart@gmail.com. So email us. You can also post on our Facebook page right now. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and everything but fake news. And we can check us out there. You can ask questions. Usually our listeners like to throw one up on the board, and then Gary takes care of it for us. But every week we come together to give you guys some advice, and every week at the end of the show in the fourth segment, very exciting, we do the business tip of the week. And I got to tell you guys, this week is no exception. It's going to be a good tip. We're going to spend most of the fourth segment on this. Today's show is going to not only be for the new business owner, but for the existing business owner as well. So, Doug, how you doing this morning?
A little under the weather, but I'm all right.
You look good, though. That doesn't look too under the weather.
Man, I've been coughing all kinds of stuff up the past couple of days.
Well, I think we know who the carrier was because the carrier's not in the studio today.
Yeah. I think actually he gave it to me because I saw him on Monday. And he was like, I'm not really feeling that great. And so clearly a couple days later, I started not feeling that great either.
Well, I've got my phone on airplane mode right now, so I'm not going to get all of Ryan's comments on us calling him the carrier, but we think ground zero was Ryan, and he moved it to Doug, and I made sure I ate far away from him this morning.
So. And you're far enough away from me right now, so you're good.
Yeah, I'm very far away from you now. But that was Doug Ford. He's the owner of Suncoast Roofing Solutions. They are the tile specialists in town. They do all kinds of roofs, right, Doug?
We do.
But you love that tile.
Yeah, I mean, tile, my business partner, they call him the godfather of tile. He's been installing tile for almost 40 years now. Wow. So, he's on every job, and it's just something we specialize in. So that's all, of our revenues, we probably do 75% of it's tile.
God, that's huge. You are a tile specialist. We're going to be talking about Doug and I's business today. Today's one of those few occasions where we don't have a guest on the show, but we like when that happens every once in a while, so we can actually talk about our businesses and focus on the entrepreneur. So we're going to be talking about a little bit about what Lincoln Lending and 813 Mortgage can do for you, and then of course Suncoast Roofing Solutions, what they can do. We already know it's lots of tile. So without further ado, guys, it's already April. We're already past the first quarter of 2019. We're already into the first third of the year, almost getting there. The real estate market is pretty hot. Business is booming all around the country. The roofing business seems pretty good right now. Would you say, Doug?
Yeah, I mean, we have jobs till June, so not too bad.
Not bad at all when it's April and you're booked through June. The plumbing business it's busier than ever, so much so that Ryan is clearly out sick today. So the plumbing business must be doing great. But we hope he does feel better. So let me ask you, listeners, what's the current driving force behind your business right now? What is the market that drives your business? Is there one? For me, it's the real estate market. As long as there's a demand for housing, I stay relatively busy, as most of my business comes from realtors and purchase business. However, when things get slow, you as a business owner have to think about what kind of changes you can make in order to keep the business coming in.
As long as it rains for me.
As long as it rains for Doug. That's why Doug's always at the Indian reservations dancing around. I get it now.
Doing my rain dance.
Doing your rain dance. So in my business, there's lots of other factors besides just purchase business. For example, when people have a lot of equity, like right now, how home values are up, they have the ability to do a cash out refinance. Or maybe they have enough equity they can drop their PMI, their mortgage insurance. Everybody hates that PMI. But where am I going with all of this? Today, Doug and I are going to prepare you, the business owner, for the future. We're not only enjoying a strong market right now, because of what's going on in the economy. We're enjoying a strong market possibly because of politics and other reasons, but it's not going to happen forever. So what do you do as a business owner to prepare for this? Today, we're going to talk about what Doug and I specifically are doing and have done to prepare for this market. Now, Doug, interestingly enough, you actually started your company during the biggest recession of our lifetimes, right?
I did.
You did. So when you started your company, I think it was 2009, you decided to start the company in one of the slowest markets that we've seen in America. And some of you right now are thinking of starting a business. And it's not a bad idea considering we're in an extremely high market, a good bull market right now. However, you still have to prepare for what's going to come in this world of cycles, because we all know that everything is cyclical in business. And right now, I almost feel like we're kind of more at the top longer than we expected to be when you talk about the natural 10-year cycles. So is it the right time to start a business? If you're already in business, when should you start preparing for the inevitable? Should you start one now? Let's start with you, Doug. You actually started your business in one of the slowest markets, but let me ask you, was there a reason that you did that, or is it just coincidence?
I mean, a little bit of both, but I always, a lot of the business books you read that says, downturn is a great time to start any new business. A couple reasons is, you're going to find there's a lot of people hunting for work, so you're going to get top guys, for a fairly good price. Also, when you're looking at, buying or leasing or renting a building, it's going to be cheaper. Materials are usually cheaper, and really the only way to go is up. So starting from a down market is always a safe play, and I think it's easier. It's easier to build a company from that position as well, because you're not in like right now starting a roofing company. You're starting in such a strong market, your entry point is a lot harder.
Well, would you also say you also have more competition when the market
ton more competition.
Right.
It's like kind of what we talked about up north. If you're going to a state like Chicago or DC, New York, and you're trying to start a small business, it's much more difficult to do that.
So when you start a business, in general, I'd say, for instance, when we had the guys who did that thing to save babies in cars, I'm trying to think of the name of the product.
Yep.
Sorry guys, I'm forgetting right now. But it was interesting. They told us, I think it was like $300,000 or $400,000 it took them to get off the ground and start. Do you think it matters if you're starting in a low market or in a high market, the actual cost to start? It sounds like what you're saying is it might be cheaper to start a business in a low market.
Yeah, I mean, I started my company with $0.
What?
And I bootstrapped everything, and it was easy to start with nothing. Because I don't have trademarks. I don't have patents.
With nothing though. I mean, I
have my credit. I have my my whatever money I needed to buy materials and stuff. But I didn't really buy anything new to start my company. I built up enough revenue my first year, and then I decided to take the plunge into entrepreneurship.
Wow.
When did you start marketing for your company, though?
So I actually started marketing myself about 6 months prior to owning my company. And what I did was I was just basically networking with people that I knew that had homes, telling them, hey, I'm looking at starting a roofing company. And before I started my company, I had 6 contracts.
So you built up a pipeline before you went live.
Correct. And those 6 contracts ended up being like $300,000. So $300,000, I made good money from right off the break.
Wow. So that worked out very well. And you think maybe because of when you started, I mean, obviously your rent was cheaper, your materials were cheaper.
Everything was cheaper, and I was able to handpick, some of the best guys out there. And funny thing enough is I still have the same guys I started with.
That's interesting.
I literally
tell me that.
I have 2 crews that have been with me over 10 years, and I have 2 crews that have been with me almost 8 years.
So that, you just brought up, that's a whole nother show that I think we need to bring out to everyone is employee retention. What does it take to retain an employee? A lot of people will tell you, and I believe it's the truth, it's more expensive to hire employees than to retain employees. When you lose employees, you lose revenue. When you have to hire employees, it costs money to find them interview them, set them up, and then who knows what they're going to negotiate. So a lot of times it's better to keep. And it sounds like you've done a great job.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been taught is your employees are your hands.
Right.
So, I mean, if you want to get things done, you got to make sure you take care of your hands.
Don't cut your hands off.
Yeah.
What's that old saying?
Don't cut your hands off to spite your face.
That's right. That's right. And
cut your nose off to spite your face.
We got a lot of good sayings. It's something like that, right?
Yeah, and don't bite the hand that feeds you. So if your employees are feeding you and giving you money and bringing contracts into you, you don't want to treat them badly.
Right. Right.
Correct.
Now, what about? And this is a little off topic, but what the word extortion has come up before. It's a rough word, but there's sometimes when employees come to you and they try to put your back against the wall.
Strong arm you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that happens to all business owners. So, you're not alone out there. If
you have to weigh your odds. Is it worth it to give them that little bit of a raise, or is it worth it to try to hunt for new people? And you make that decision when you get faced with that.
Right.
What if that employee is providing you with a service that only that employee can do?
Well, that what's that called? Job security.
SOL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's called job security.
Right.
Well, if you're the employer, you're SOL if that person's trying to leave.
Now you got a person. Now let's say your company's based on an individual itself. Like say you're doing something where your company is doctor based or nurse based or something like that, where you have to rely on that person.
That's a good point. So and in that type of specialty thing, it's going to be hard to do what I'm going to say next. But if there is a term called cross training. And that's a good thing to do is you cross train employees to make sure if you lose somebody else can pick up. And a lot of times employees don't get that. Why am I learning how to do John's job when that's John's job? Because John might not always be here, Jack.
Or he may take vacation, or he may have downtime.
All right, so we got to take a quick break, guys. You're listening to the Business Happy Hour here on 1250 WHNZ and 970 WFLA. And don't forget to find our podcast. Ask Alexa to play the Business Happy Hour on iHeartRadio. That's the Business Happy Hour on iHeartRadio. We'll be back in just a minute with more business advice from Frank and Doug No Ryan. Have all the rain and storms this year left your roof unprotected? Do you need an honest, reliable, and trustworthy roofing company? Call Suncoast Roofing Solutions today at 813-283-2544 for a free evaluation and no obligation estimate. You'll appreciate their personalized solutions and no-pressure consultants. You can find Suncoast Roofing Solutions on the web at suncoastroofingsolutions.com. where honesty, integrity, and craftsmanship come first. This is Frank Coto, president of Lincoln Lending Group and 813mortgage.com, your no junk fee mortgage lender. If you're a veteran and you're looking to purchase or refinance a home, please visit 813mortgage.com today and complete your fast, free 5-minute VA loan application. My team will approve you in less than 24 hours, and we will beat any written loan estimate from any other bank. Thank you to all of our customers who made us the #1 mortgage lender in Tampa over the last 19 years. Call 813mortgage today. And don't forget, you drop the E, we'll drop your fee.
Hey, are you a plumber in Tampa Bay or know a plumber looking for a great career change? Tampa Bay Plumbers is looking for several qualified service plumbers with top compensation packages between $75,000 and $100,000 per year, offering paid holidays, vacation pay, major medical, and unbeatable work environment. We are the highest rated company because of our plumbers, and we want you to join our team today. Call 813-PLUMBER. That's 813-PLUMBER. Remember, plumbing problems are no problem for Tampa Bay Plumbers.
Are you ready to downsize Tampa Bay? Jack Harris here to tell you about Downsize Tampa Bay, Florida's premier seminar to assist the downsizing homeowner. The decision to downsize is far more than just the sale of the big house and a move to a smaller living space. It involves many big decisions, and they can help. Experts will be available to guide you through this challenging transition. Downsize Tampa Bay is a free seminar on Sunday, April 7th, but you must register at downsizetampabay.com.
Sometimes a family needs a little help to deal with life stresses. You can contribute to happy, healthy childhoods with a few simple steps. Notice families under stress. Offer a helping hand. Give your time. Talk about healthy child development. Connect a family with resources. Contributing to a great childhood can be as easy as being a good neighbor. For more, PreventChildAbuseFL.org. This message is sponsored by the Ounce of Prevention Fund of Florida, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Let's think about customization presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Liberty Mutual customizes your auto insurance so you only pay for what you need. So why can't more things in life be customizable? Why can't I buy Neapolitan ice cream without strawberry? Can't I just have the chocolate and vanilla flavors I'm comfortable with? Do people even want a fruity ice cream flavor sandwiched right between the classics?
Go to libertymutual.com for a customized quote and you could save.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Equal housing insurer.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology actively invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you, the needle in the haystack.
Try ZipRecruiter now for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Mark Levin is now on 1250 WHNZ.
Not one scintilla of evidence the Trump world colluding with the Russians. We know as a matter of fact that there was no crime committed in this respect because Mr. Mueller isn't bringing any more indictments. And the headline ought to be, not a single individual was indicted as a result of colluding with the Russians on behalf of the Trump campaign.
Hear Mark Levin, weeknights at 7 on 1250 WHNZ. You're listening to the Business Happy Hour with Frank Coto, Ryan Pelky, and Doug Ford. Now, back to the show.
Hey, welcome back to the Business Happy Hour. If you guys missed the first segment, you don't know who we are and you're just tuning in, it's Frank, Ryan, and Doug. We are three successful business owners who get together every Wednesday at 11 a.m. live to help you business owners answer any entrepreneurial-based questions and just help you either become a successful business owner or stay successful. And today is no different than any other day for us. We're actually talking about Doug Ford and Suncoast Roofing Solutions. He started his business in 2009 in one of the biggest recessions that we've ever had in my lifetime, for sure, the biggest recession we've ever had.
It was my first recession.
Doug's first recession. It was my first recession as well, right?
Well, I mean, I guess there's been prior recessions to that, but we never felt them up in where I lived.
Right.
And even still, the Great Recession up in D.C., they really didn't really feel it.
I was talking to somebody the other day about that exact same thing, and they're talking about, they're looking to buy a beach condo, a beach rental, and they were saying, oh, well, what if the market tanks? And I said, well, last time the market tanked, I didn't notice that people stopped going to the beach.
Yeah.
Like, they still do it. And funny story, and it was like in 2008, a buddy of mine got married, and he wanted to go down to South Beach for his bachelor party, and it was bad. I mean, everybody was dying in 2008. Nobody had money, 2008 and 9. And we get down there, and the first thing I see is Lamborghini, Rolls-Royce, Lamborghini. Going by. So I text people back in my office. I was like, yeah, I don't think there's a recession down here in Miami Beach.
Foreign money.
Foreign money, that's part of it. But, lucky for us, Doug, we live in paradise. We live in the place where everybody wants to move. Everybody wants to come to Florida. I think the most recent stat is just over 500 people a day are moving into Florida, and a lot of them coming into the Central Florida.
So hopefully that will, make it so we don't have the downturn that we're talking about.
Right, exactly. And we are going to prepare you. We've got some advice that we're going to start going into about what to do as a business owner. The first thing we learned is from Doug in the first segment is it's not a bad idea to start a business when the economy is down. For some of the reasons you gave, Doug, were cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, you have, like I said, you'll find higher end employees. You'll have cheaper rent. You'll have cheaper materials. Everything when the economy's bad, everything's down. I mean, I don't know of anything that goes way up, except for maybe gas.
Right, but in your business specifically, and this is another thing to think about, is what type of business are you opening?
Well, what do Ryan and I say every time on the show? What can we not find?
Employees.
So what do you find when the economy's bad?
Employees.
Yeah, because what's the employment rate? Usually employment rate's 13, 14, 15%. So
right, and
a bunch
of
people are looking for work.
Right, and you guys are in industries. Lucky for you guys is that it's a necessity.
Yeah.
What do they say? You got to have a roof over your head, right?
That's true.
If it rains in your house, you're going to replace your roof. And for Ryan, when things come up from the ground, they're going to call Ryan. Or when something doesn't work. I mean, I just had a dishwasher break in one of my units, and I have no choice. No choice but to get that fixed. So you guys are in good industry. So think about that. What type of business are you starting? Is it something somebody needs or wants? Maybe if you want to start a travel agency, you should wait for the economy to be good.
Yeah, I mean, I think and another key thing to starting any business is separating yourself from everybody else.
Right. Okay. So that's one of our first pieces of advice. So you always should do that, but even more important, right, Doug, is when the economy's down, when business is slow or it's starting to slow down, we have to differentiate ourselves.
Yes, I mean, there's several different ways. One, you can choose a niche market that you want to be in, or having a different process or different products you use than everybody else, and clearly defining what you're doing differently. So that way, when you go in front of a client, you can sell yourself on, this is what I do differently, and this is why I do it.
Right. Differently or better, another process, something. Yep. So I'll tell a quick story about what I did. Doug says that was his first recession. So you started your business during the recession.
Yep.
I got into business in 2000 during the last boom. And when I mean boom, it's like I could get your hamster's cousin a mortgage, okay? With just a paw print. So the business was great. I got in 2000. Everything was wonderful all the way up until what is it? My phone keeps going off. I had to shut it off up until probably about 2000, late 7, early 8. And things were terrible. Everybody during that time, they hated banks. Banks were the devil. Banks were closing. Banks were screwing you over. Banks were losing your mortgages. Banks were just bad. Mortgage brokers, they didn't necessarily hate us. They didn't love us, but the banks were the ones that were getting the fingers pointed at them. Because remember, guys, the banks are the ones who provide the products to the mortgage guys to sell. It's not the mortgage guys creating the products. So towards the end of that, I think it was the beginning of 2010, not when we were out of it yet, but we were getting out of it. I tried to figure out something. I wanted to do what Doug said, and I wanted to separate myself. I wanted to find a niche, not necessarily in a banking product, but in something that would differentiate my business. And what I realized was, because of all the regulation, all the additional government agencies, more I's and T's to dot and cross in our industry, I noticed a trend that banks were increasing their fees, their little nickel and dime fees. Fax fees, processing fees, underwriting fees, admin fees. It was kind of like across the board around $4.95 is what most banks would charge at that time, and then they make their money on the points and on the interest rate and whatnot. So I thought to myself, man, what if I went ahead and decided to stop charging clients up front? Because guys, bankers and mortgage guys, they make money already based on the volume or the loan amount or the interest rate. We already get paid for booking the loans with the servicers. So the money that banks charge you up front, it's unnecessary. It's the best way to put it. I'm not saying they're ripping you off, but it's not necessary to make that amount of money per client. So I decided to go ahead and go with a no-fee mortgage option. And I told all my employees, and I started advertising in town and said, we're no longer charging points, origination fees, underwriting fees, broker fees, admin fees, all this junk, which equates to about $1,500 per loan at that time, because the banks were raising it up to $900 to $1,500. It was a scary thing, because by doing that, I was losing money on every single transaction. Be like, Doug, if you just said, hey, I'm going to give you 30% off all material from now on, you're going to lose money. But what happened was my business almost doubled the next year. And then the next year it almost doubled. And then the next year, it went for 5 years and had this incredible run of almost doubling every year. Now, granted, the economy was getting better, so it was a well-timed decision, which is what we're going to try and talk to you about. But in the end, I made a decision that made me less money per transaction, but brought in a lot more volume. And it was one of the greatest decisions I ever made. To this day, we're known as the no-fee mortgage lender, and I'm proud of that. Maybe one day I'll have to charge fees again, but for right now, it works. And what I did was I separated myself. I differentiated myself at the right time. When everybody hated the banks, I did something different, the opposite of what they were doing, and that's been successful. We're going to be back in just a minute, and we're going to talk about some more specifics about the market. What do you do if you're not only going to start a business, but how do you want to differentiate yourself? And don't forget to stay tuned for the fourth segment. Doug and I are going to spend the entire segment on this one business tip of the week, and you're going to love it if you're a business owner. You listen to the Business Happy Hour at 970 and 1250, and don't forget to ask Alexa to play the Business Happy Hour podcast on iHeartRadio. We'll be back in just a minute with Frank and Doug and some Gary.
Your shot at $1,000 now. Text the nationwide keyword WINGS to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's WINGS to 200-200.
I'm Jessica Ettinger, CNBC. Stocks are higher. Investors are hoping some real headway is being made on the trade war with China. Chinese negotiators are in D.C. for talks. The Dow is up 75 points, about 1/3%. The Nasdaq up a full 1%, up 77 points, and the S&P is up 0.5%, up 15 points. Verizon is rolling out 5G service in parts of Chicago and Minneapolis today, the first cities in the world to get 5G-enabled smartphones connected to a faster network. It's selling a device that snaps onto a Motorola phone that kicks it up to 5G. The service is an extra $10 a month after a free period. Mortgage rates fell and refinances popped last week, a 39% spike with rates at 4.36% for a 30-year loan. That's according to the Mortgage Bankers Association. 9 years ago today, Apple released the first iPad.
I get up first thing, smoke a cigarette before lunch, after lunch. Now that I'm talking about it, I kind of feeling like I've lost about 4 hours of every day. I decided I needed to find an alternative. So I started looking, and then Juul came up. I did both for a while. Eventually I just switched over, and it's very quick.
Mimi made the switch July 2015. Make the switch at JUUL.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
At Merrick, we know dogs are in charge. So our dog foods start with deboned meat, poultry, or fish, and Sorry. Coming! Here's your ducky. And because real whole foods are better for your dog, each Merrick recipe is packed with whole fruits and vegetables. Excuse me. You want to go out right now? Okay. Dogs are in charge. Serve them well. Merrick. Available at your local pet store.
We have some slow traffic westbound on I-4 from the Selma connector into 275. We're slowing northbound on 275 on the eastbound east end of the Howard Franklin Bridge. Have an accident in Apollo Beach northbound on US 41 at Falls Boulevard and a crash southbound on US 19 at Alderman. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Utica Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line at 866-545-9595.
This report is sponsored by Zoo Tampa at Lowry Park. Get wild at Zoo Tampa at Lowry Park. Splash down the new water adventure Roaring Springs. Experience up-close connections with native wildlife and endangered species from around the globe. All this excitement and more awaits when you pay for a day and get the rest of 2019 free.
Have all the rain and storms this year left your roof unprotected? Do you need an honest, reliable, and trustworthy roofing company? Call Suncoast Roofing Solutions today at 813-283-2544 for a free evaluation and no obligation estimate. You'll appreciate their personalized solutions and no pressure consultants. You can find Suncoast Roofing Solutions on the web at suncoastroofingsolutions.com, where honesty, integrity, and craftsmanship come first.
From the Weather Center, Abrahamson and Uterwick, injury lawyers, proudly serving your community. Pinellas, Hillsborough.
Your Tampa Bay area forecast: sunny and warm, high 79. Clear and pleasant overnight, the low 61. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine and warmer, high 83. For more news, weather, and traffic, tune to WFLA at 94.5 in St. Pete, 105.9 in Tampa, or 99.1 in Newport Richey.
This report sponsored by Quest Diagnostics.
Quest Diagnostics is committed to helping you get the health care you and your family need. That's why Quest is now in network with United Healthcare. Know more at QuestIsIn.com.
You're listening to the Business Happy Hour with Frank Coto, Ryan Pelky, and Doug Ford. Now, back to the show.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Business Happy Hour here with Frank Coto, the owner of Lincoln Lending Group for the last 19 years and 813mortgage.com, and Doug Ford, the owner of Suncoast Roofing Solutions, the tile roof expert. You can find him at 888-888-ROOF. So this show, Doug and I were talking about all kinds of things that you can do to set yourself apart or find a niche or differentiate yourself from the competition. Now, it's good to do this all the time. There's no question that there's never a bad time to differentiate yourself or find a niche, because that's just going to help you make you money. But we find it's even more important as business owners to do this when you have the possibility of a down market or a slow market, which, you know, cyclically talking wise, we think that that's possible that it is coming. Although, again, we live in one of the best places in the country because so many people are living here. Doug, I wanted to take a minute and ask you, what what is it you do? What is your thing? What process or something do you do to differentiate yourself from the competition? There's a million roofers.
Yeah, I mean, ours is really the process. So, I mean, there's so many different ways to install a roof. And we basically have looked at what fails prematurely, and then we changed it.
In installation you're talking about?
In product and installation.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's certain areas that fail sooner than others.
Okay.
And so we just go in there and we do a different process.
And can you say online?
Not really.
Thing? No,
not really.
You don't want to tell everybody what you do.
Nope.
But now you're going to give them is it a better warranty that they get?
Well, I mean, it's better warranty, but it's the peace of mind. So, when clients get a roof, they get a warranty from a roofing company, but is that roofing company going to be in business in 10 years?
That's a good, and we brought that up. We've been doing this radio together almost 3 years, and there's been a lot of companies that have gone out of business in that amount of time.
So
and we've talked
by
about
doing what we're doing, we give them peace of mind that even if I were to go out of business, they're going to have a roof that's going to last.
And you've been in business 10 years, right?
10 years.
And what is that stat? Most businesses fail, right?
First 3 years.
First 3 years, right? And then when they say when you make it to 5. You're pretty much golden.
You're good.
Right. You make it to 10. What do we get? Gray hair?
Lots of it.
Yeah, he laughs and I can see it. Both of us are getting that. All right. So you set up something different. You have a different process. You've been in business a long time. How important do you think, Gary? You think it's pretty important that a business has been around for a long time? Like you're a consumer and you're out there shopping, let's say for a mortgage or a roof. How much do you look at that? How much do you care how long they've been in business?
I think it's a big part of my business when I go look for as a consumer.
Okay.
3 things. I want service after I'm sold something.
Which means they have to be in business.
They have to be in business. Think about buying a car. If you bought a car and you bought a Saturn.
A Saturn. I haven't heard that in a while.
Or a Pontiac.
Or a Pontiac.
I forgot Pontiac. Oldsmobile.
Oldsmobile. They're gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's interchangeable parts with GM and everything, but that dealer's gone.
That's a good point.
Okay. So that's diminished the GM brand. Look where they're at now.
That's a great point.
Okay. So, but you think about something on
you
your
want
house.
Service afterwards. That's number
Construction on your house.
Mm-hmm.
Look at somebody puts a hot water heater in, and it goes bad within 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do and they're out of business already.
Now, I don't work for a lot of new home builders. They give us a 1-year warranty.
1 year on a brand new house?
1 year, and so the roofers give a 1-year warranty. The only builders I work with are custom home builders.
Mm-hmm.
They really care about what they're doing, care about the product they're putting
craftsmanship.
out. Yeah, where these track home builders, and I won't name names, but they could care less.
Yep,
they're building 500 to 1,000 homes at a time. They're trying to get them done as fast as they can, as cheap as they can.
Let me give my 2 cents on new construction because I think you and I are on the same page. New construction. I divert my clients from buying it all the time. It smells good. You're the first guy that goes in there. What Doug's saying is, especially track homes, you're going to get crappier quality. My problem is I feel like they set the market. They go out and start selling the first round of houses at $200,000. 3 months later, they're $215,000. 3 months later, they're $230,000. Yep. Then they're $245,000. They just follow the math. They keep going up. Well, my wife's a real estate appraiser. That's not how real estate works.
Mm-mm.
But they're able to do it by showing the blueprints and the plans. And to me, it's a scam that the builders keep raising the prices, but it doesn't follow the way the economy is going.
Yeah, they'll come to me and they go, I want the cheapest and the best.
The cheapest and the best.
You can't have that.
You can't have that.
No, you can. It's just impossible.
What did Dr. Garko say? You get
what you pay for.
That's right.
You pay for.
I don't think there's anything in this world that you don't get what you pay for.
Nothing.
Think about it. If you buy a cheap watch, it's going to be a cheap watch. You buy cheap clothes. Cheap car, cheap. I mean, there's nothing that is good quality that you're going to get for cheap.
That's exactly
You
right.
both have kids.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you go out and they're small kids?
Yeah.
When they were small, did you go out and buy a brand new pair of Air Jordans for your small kids?
Hell
no.
Why? Why?
I just paint the little Jordan guy on
in
it.
6 months, we're going to replace him.
Yeah, 6 months. Yeah, it's like 3 sometimes. Yeah.
So it's like buying it's like buying an expensive car. If you can't maintain it, why do you own it?
That's a good one. I do not see that all the time. You see guys that buy BMWs and Mercedes and things like that, and they're falling apart and they can't get them fixed.
What's nice about BMW is that usually all the maintenance is included.
Yeah, now it is. Yeah, well, they got away from that bad money wasted.
They're smart for that.
They were
because they had to compete with Kia with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
Right. Well, you still have what's the one that's everybody's on to now? The Hyundai.
Yeah, but Hyundai came out with that. the Genesis.
Yeah,
now
that's what
they've transferred into it's the Genesis of the car now.
It's a luxury market.
Then it's got a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
Yeah, which the warranty beats out all the other luxury cars.
I mean, my dad had one for a little bit. It's pretty nice inside.
Yeah. My half sister had one, and it's a great car. And the warranty, like Gary's saying, you know, you're getting what you're paying for because they're standing behind their product.
Right.
Yep.
Which is a good thing. All right, so differentiate yourself, guys. When we know the market's gonna slow down, I don't think the market is gonna tank. There's too many stops.
And sometimes you can do market research. You know, when I first started, one of the things I did when I first started my company is I basically called 10 roofing companies and I had them give me estimates on my roof. I had them pitch me. You know what I mean? So that way I get to see the ins and outs of what these different people did and how they did it, and I was able to. It was kind of my own market research. Now, I wish I would do it again, actually, 10 years later. I really should try to do it again, but the problem is I have to find somebody else's house. Maybe I'll give them to your house, Frank, and I'll come measure your roof.
I'll just shop you. How about that?
Yeah.
I'll just shop Doug. So Doug's doing a quote for me on a property I need to sell.
You should do that.
We're talking about it. That's a great idea. All right, we're going to call up some roofing companies today.
Yes.
And we're going to let them do their bids. Now, do most roofing companies have to come out to the house? Is that like part of the sales?
And this is another thing. So a lot of roofing companies, you call them out. They're going to come to your house. They're going to email you a quote or estimate.
So they do go, though, most of the time?
Sometimes they do off Eagle View, but like especially like with my higher-end homes, the tile community, still roofing companies do the same thing. They'll come out and they'll email you an estimate or give you an estimate. Well, what are you getting?
I don't know.
Exactly. So we sit down with all of our clients. We go over the process we do from start to finish, and we specialize everything towards them. So it's not like just the same thing for every individual. Something that's always specialized towards them. So, a lot of people don't know what they're getting. So we like to show them what they're getting.
Right.
And usually when they see that, they're like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. Or they learn something. I tell consumers, I'm going to educate you. Whether you use us or not, I want to educate you as a consumer.
That's a good point. So then you're selling yourself, you're selling the company, you're selling the reputation and the behind the scenes service.
Correct.
Which is a very good point. A lot of companies don't do that. And funny thing is, in my business, I can beat those companies left and right. The tagline that we use whenever somebody calls me and say, I was referred and I'm working with Quicken or I'm working with whoever, Bank of America. The biggest objection that they say is, I don't want to start over. I don't want to do a new application. That's not fun for me. So I say, listen, send me the estimate from what the other guy did, and they probably do that to you too. Send me the estimate. I'll take a look at it. Tell me what credit score the other bank ran on you, and I'll give you a written estimate.
So most consumer with us, they'll actually give us all their estimates.
That's
because they want to use us. They're like, look, here's my other estimates. Because we're higher than everybody, so then they want us to bring the price down a little bit.
But then you also get to, at that point, you get to review as the business owner, you get to see what other materials and products and processes and warranties they might be offering. So then you can explain to them why they're paying you a different amount of money.
Correct.
Right. So for me, and anybody who's in a service position, this is all you business owners in a service position, we don't have a product necessarily that we can show somebody. Like Doug can show them that his material is better. Or that his warranty is better. If you're in mortgages or real estate or one of these jobs, it's you. You're selling your service. You're selling yourself. So we start with the money. We start with the pricing. And remember, if you work with Lincoln Lending Group, you can mention the radio ad, but you don't have to. We're not going to charge you any fees. There's no upfront origination or broker fee or underwriting fee or junk fee. So I tell people that right off the bat. I say, my cards are on the table already. If you don't want to show me the other guy's estimate and he's charging you something, you already know you're saving this amount of money. Now, we're a wholesale mortgage lender, so we can beat any interest rate we want. Just like Doug, I know, being the business owner, you could beat any written estimate you want, but you have to make the same decision that I do. Is it worth it for your company to do it? You're booked until June.
Yeah.
So you're not going to take a job that you're getting a 5% margin on when you're booked with 20% margins till June, right?
Correct.
All right, so all the business owners, you all have to make that decision on what works for your company. But my advice is, I think it's a great sales angle to let the other people send you the estimates and give them a competing estimate. And if you're not going to win by the numbers, then you need to sell yourself. You need to sell your service. So speaking of the real estate market overall, Doug, you've invested in the real estate market for a long time. Where do you see things going? How do you feel about where we are?
Well, I mean, it's a tough question. I personally myself, I've been selling all my real estate recently.
Okay, and why? Why are you thinking you're selling?
I've made a good chunk of money on it. And we're, if it's going to go higher, I don't know.
Right.
But I've invested in mostly single family homes. And as we talked about the other day, I want to invest in more multifamily.
Right.
So I figured now's a good time while it's up. Let's cash out. I'll be cash positive, and then once the market eventually figures itself out, maybe goes down, we can buy something that's more multifamily.
So it sounds like the old adage, buy low and Gary,
sell high.
That's right. Buy low and sell high. And, whether you bought low or not, you can still sell high. And right now, the market is pretty high. I think there's a little bit of room left in the market to climb.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a little different niche than most people. We live in Florida.
Yeah, it's called Florida. We're a niche
We're in
itself.
Florida. We're during the recession, it went way down, but now our market's so strong. I just don't know when it's going to go down.
Right. That's the crystal ball. So if you guys want to learn what we have in our crystal ball and you want to hear the business tip of the week, you better stay tuned. Hang on for the next 4 minutes because we're coming back to the business happy hour with the business tip of the week with Frank Coto of Lincoln Lending and Doug Ford of Suncoast Roofing Solutions. Stay tuned to the business tip of the week in 4 minutes. Have all the rain and storms this year left your roof unprotected? Do you need an honest, reliable, and trustworthy roofing company? Call Suncoast Roofing Solutions today at 813-283-2544 for a free evaluation and no obligation estimate. You'll appreciate their personalized solutions and no-pressure consultants. You can find Suncoast Roofing Solutions on the web at suncoastroofingsolutions.com. where honesty, integrity, and craftsmanship come first. This is Frank Coto, president of Lincoln Lending Group and 813mortgage.com, your no-junk fee mortgage lender. If you're a veteran and you're looking to purchase or refinance a home, please visit 813mortgage.com today and complete your fast, free 5-minute VA loan application. My team will approve you in less than 24 hours, and we will beat any written loan estimate from any other bank. Thank you to all of our customers who made us the #1 mortgage lender in Tampa over the last 19 years. Call 813mortgage today. And don't forget, you drop the E, we'll drop your fee.
Hey, are you a plumber in Tampa Bay or know a plumber looking for a great career change? Tampa Bay Plumbers is looking for several qualified service plumbers with top compensation packages between $75,000 and $100,000 per year, offering paid holidays, vacation pay, major medical, and unbeatable work environment. We are the highest rated company because of our plumbers, and we want you to join our team today. Call 813-PLUMBER. That's 813-PLUMBER. Remember, plumbing problems are no problem for Tampa Bay Plumbers.
Howdy, Jack Harris here, inviting you to Downsize Tampa Bay. Downsize Tampa Bay is Florida's premier seminar to assist the downsizing homeowner. This is a free seminar on Sunday, April 7th, but you have to register today at Downsize Tampa Bay. That's Downsize Tampa Bay.
Have you experienced the wisdom of nature with Zyflamend Whole Body from New Chapter? Zyflamend is a 10-herb blend that delivers 3 health benefits. First, Zyflamend is an herbal approach to pain relief, helping to soothe minor pain or soreness. Second, Zyflamend is a joint supplement with time-tested herbs to support joint function and flexibility. And the third benefit, Zyflamend supports the body's healthy inflammation response, something that's essential for maintaining whole body health. Zyflamend is New Chapter's clinically tested blend of 10 remarkable herbs, including pure and potent turmeric, ginger, and green tea. Zyflamend is non-GMO, project verified, gluten-free, and 100% vegetarian. New Chapter is a leader in supplement quality. Every ingredient, every product, every time. Discover Zyflamend, New Chapter's #1 selling multi-herbal. Zyflamend is made with ginger for occasional pain relief after exercise. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Spectacular nightly parades, amazing concerts on select nights. It's Mardi Gras February 9th through April 4th at Universal Studios. Get the full concert lineup at universalorlando.com/Mardi Gras.
Hey Bucks fans, join the crew and become a Buccaneers Season Pass member for 2019. Get access to member-exclusive events, discounts on Bucks merchandise, and so much more. Season Pass members also receive significant savings on single-game tickets. And with new head coach Bruce Arians leading the charge, you'll want to be part of our crew as we set sail on this new era of Bucks football. For more information and to climb aboard, visit Buccaneers.com/tickets.
Hi everyone, Misty Wells here. If you're tired of being cooped up in a cubicle and you're ready for some quality time outdoors, catch the Let's Take It Outside podcast anytime. Look for Let's Take It Outside on the iHeartRadio app on your phone and more than 2,000 other devices, including Alexa. Or go to WHNZ.com and find us on the podcast menu. Make some time. Find us on iHeartRadio and Let's take it outside.
You're listening to the Business Happy Hour with Frank Coto, Ryan Pelky, and Doug Ford. Now, back to the show.
Hey guys, this is Frank Coto, president of Lincoln Lending Group and 813mortgage.com, your no-fee mortgage lender. Do an app at 813mortgage.com today, and we're not going to charge you any fees for the app, the qualification, or the closing. And Doug Ford, my partner in studio, he is the owner of Suncoast Roofing Solutions, the tile experts. You can find them at 888-888-ROOF. Doug and I have spent the entire show talking about advice for you business owners or people who want to get into business. Doug was telling an awesome story about how he started his business in 2009 in one of the worst down markets ever. I've been in business 19 years, and I never thought about the benefits to starting a business in a down market. But as Doug, you were saying, it's cheaper, it's easier.
Yeah,
some aspects.
Probably get some of the best employees out there.
Right. Because
as long as you're smart enough to retain them.
The number one problem, right, smart enough to retain them. The number one the problem that you and Ryan have been having is finding good employees.
Yeah,
which
and
is hard.
It's still a problem. I mean, it really prohibits growth. You know, I don't want to grow too much more than where I'm at right now because it's just hard to keep up the high quality and high level of type of service we give.
Yeah, right, exactly. So, fourth segment, every show we do the business tip of the week. And today we think it's a really good tip, so we decided to do it in the beginning and take the whole segment to talk about it and give some advice to our listeners. I'll throw it out, and then you can help me banter on this here. So I think the business tip of the week this week is stop, if you're a business owner, stop trying to do it all. Stop trying to be a jack of all trades, okay? Focus on what you can be number one at. Focus on what you're best at. Matter of fact, bouncing off that, before Doug, you chime in, the richest guy that I've ever known, okay, I'm not going to throw his name out right here, but the richest person I've ever known gave me some advice about 10 years ago when I was trying to do some financing, believe it or not, for Evander Holyfield. And I called this guy, and it was a very outside-the-box deal. He was losing his mansion, and I needed to find somebody to do financing for him, and the banks weren't going to touch it. So I called him up, and we had lunch, and he said, Frank, you've brought me what I would consider a really good deal for a good person. It makes sense, but it's not what I do. That's exactly what he said. He looked me in the eyes and said, it's not what I do. He could have funded this loan with his checkbook right there, $15 million, no problem. And he said, it's not what I do. And I said, well, what do you mean? And he goes, I made all my money and I keep my money safe because I invest in what I know and I do what I'm best at. So I think that's what we want to push to the listeners.
Yeah. I mean, you've basically nailed on the head the entire show what I do best at. We do 75% of our business is tile.
Right.
And that's our niche. That's what we do mostly of. I mean, granted, I can do flat roofs, I can do shingles, I can do metal, and we do them just as well, but I focus my attention on one thing. So if I'm ever going to sell my company in the future, it's easy to sell it because I'm focused on one thing. A company that only does shingle, they could buy my company and now be good at shingle and tile. So, right. It gives you, you get noticed a little bit more when you're a specialty of one item. Or one.
Now, that doesn't mean that you can't do the other things good.
Yeah, correct.
But when you choose to do something better than everybody else, it also means that you might not be the best at some of the other things. Would you agree with that?
I mean, in my industry,
or you might not be the cheapest.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
That's really what it is.
That's
not the best. I used the wrong word. So, I would still call you, you're a friend. I trust you. I know you do good business. So I'm going to call you for whatever roof I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But you've been honest with me before. Just like we're joking around, we're going to shop around and see what these other guys say.
Yeah, I mean, that one roof you want, it's a steep pitch roof. You're gonna pay a lot for it.
Right. So the whole thing is, there might be a guy out there who does it cheaper. Is he going to do it better? Maybe not. But
we thought about even transitioning, having a separate company that does wholesale.
Right.
Smaller, cheaper roofs. I just can't do it on my side of things. I can't do that. The numbers just don't make sense. We have a lot of different overhead, a lot of different costs. Right. Or if I started another business that was focused only on wholesale, then I could be, a cheaper roofer for everybody for, shingle roofs and smaller, cheaper homes.
Right. So I was thinking to myself when you're talking, what is it that we do best? What do we differentiate? I mean, I've always been known as the guy who beats the bank. What do I specialize in? I specialize in saving people money when it comes to competing with your normal mortgage. The other thing that I know that my company that we've always pushed is we've always been the company that has a product for everyone. I'm the best when it comes to saving you money in the fees just because I feel like I don't rip people off. But we across the board, we want to be the place that you can go, and if you have a problem with a conventional mortgage or FHA mortgage or something, you've got another option in front of you. So I guess it's kind of a strange. It's like I'm always going against my own advice of focusing on one thing. But what we're really talking about when we have that is, for instance, this morning Zillow announced publicly that they are now doing home loans. Okay, the people that you have gone to that have cornered the market for giving you a home value over the last 10 years, a couple of years ago decided that they're going to compete with the people who have been keeping them in business, which are realtors. And they're going to start, they started doing real estate and competing with the people that they sell the leads to. And I never thought the day would come, to be honest with you, Doug, but this morning they announced they're doing mortgages.
Well, I saw the same thing with RP Funding. I'm like, RP Funding is a mortgage company. Like, oh, and then we'll sell your home too.
And they're a realtor. Right.
So now they're a realtor too.
And they're getting into insurance, homeowners
crazy.
insurance.
And so then brings me up to the topic of GE. You have a company, General Electric, that's been in business over 100 years.
Right.
And that's what they did wrong. Instead of focusing on the industrial electronics, they were like, let's become a financial person. Let's become this. They had so many different arms of their company. They brought down their main company, and they're almost going out of business.
Right.
I mean, they got delisted on the what do you call it?
Exchange?
Exchange.
Really?
They're no longer on the Dow.
I had no idea.
But if you bought CVSI, you'd be at 581 today from 22 cents a year ago.
That's right. Hey, we haven't done that tip in a while. We should start bringing that up again. But we normally throw out a stock thing here and there. And CVSI is one that Gary brought to us, and we've all made a little bit of money.
Yeah, it's been hovering on 5 for so long.
It went to 620 and now it's
617.
But yeah,
it needs to get up to that $20 range. I think that'll be.
Stop being greedy, Doug.
They got a new COO, and they got a new vice president, and then they've got a new head of not marketing.
But yeah, the thing is, you see these companies that they do too much.
Right, too much.
Too many. It's just. I think it leads you down the path where you have, if one arm fails, it's paying for the other arm. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to figure out what's your most profitable part of your business. That's what you stick at.
Right. Pick something out. If you're a business owner, pick something out. Focus on it. Be the best at it.
Make it be the most profitable too. That's what you want to focus on.
Right. Like even and your niche doesn't have to be a product or a process. Like, for instance, my niche is I don't charge people fees, so I am different than the other guys. So if you need a mortgage, call 813-MORTGAGE or go to our website. Even better, it's fast, it's free, it's secure. It's 813mortgage.com. Feel free to put you heard us on the radio, and you'll get some special VIP treatment. And Doug, my partner, 888-888-ROOF. Call him for any type of roof you guys need. You're going to get the best service and quality. It's Doug and Frank with the biggest business happy hour. Hopefully Ryan will be back next week. Gary, thanks for everything you do for us. And we'll see you guys next week. And don't forget, in between, ask Alexa to play the Business Happy Hour podcast on iHeartRadio. Have a great weekend.